All righty, we are back. It's the final hour of the program, hour number 5 already of the day. As always, we give you 5 hours of programming on Fridays, as we do 2 over at Craig's Inn, Acura, Pembroke Pines from 9 to 11, and then we're out here from 1 to 4 every Friday. Steve Calabro is always nice enough to join us here on Fridays at 3 o'clock. We're going to talk a little football, make our picks. By the way, Steve, we had John Hernandez on with us earlier, who is one of the handicappers that's going to take part in the National Horse Players Championship tomorrow, on Sunday, which Bill and I will be by, and we'll be hanging out here for a little while and plunging our guts out.
John's a great guy. I know John. He's a pretty good horse picker, too.
I would imagine.
He's a very good handicapper. He's got a great shot. I got to tell you, whoever has ever picked horses and done well, just come here on January 12th. This is the best shot. We have $10,000 in prizes, $5,000 to the top winner. Think about the guy that wins first, second, or third place. Not only does he win $5,000,
$2,500, $1,500, and $1,000 for fourth place.
What about the money that he wins on his actual bets?
Right. Yeah.
It's a $10,000, $15,000 day.
Right. Yeah.
This is. I keep telling my friends this is a great handicapping contest, and come on out.
Yeah.
Please get out here.
Yeah. Find out more at hialeahpark.com, and if you win the contest, you will go to Vegas. Hotel and airfare included. You will participate in the competition this year or next year. It's up to you to pick which one you want to attend next February or next year in February for the other one in 2021. It's up to you, just in case you have any plans this February already as it is. But Sunday, get on down here by 10:30 so you can start to register. This thing gets going at noon, right? I'm correct?
Yeah, the contest starts at noon. My recommendation is either sign up before you arrive or get here around 10 o'clock.
Right.
Because you're going to need some time to get registered. You're going to need some time to get organized. There's some little breakfast, like a little, not breakfast, but like
snacks
stuff, and so you can get relaxed, get settled in, look at your picks, at least the first 4 or 5 races, and get going. This is really 10 o'clock Sunday, January 12th. This is a must for anybody that knows how to pick a horse. For sure. No doubt about it. Steve Calabro, of course, casino manager here at Hialeah Park. Go to hialeahparkcasino.com. Find out more. All right, let's talk a little NFL. I don't know if Bill wants to talk any NFL after only getting 1 out of 4.
That is incorrect, sir.
No, I think
I was 3-1.
I have 1 out of 4
okay,
for him.
1 out of 4,
he says 3 out of 1. I don't know what he said.
I had Seattle. I had Tennessee. And I had Houston.
And I made the wrong wager.
I did not have New Orleans. Now, that's the game that I put into our parlay, was New Orleans.
I got to tell you, I think my recommendation is let's not talk about last week. It was a little bit of a rocky road. We went 2 out of 4. I mean, I think we did. But, I just think last week was rough.
I got 3 out of 4 out of mine.
No, but I mean the team parlay.
Oh,
the team parlay.
That one we haven't been able to nail.
So, but I have an idea. So this week, maybe instead of a parlay, we could pick 3. There's 2 things we could do, and there's, I guess, any other suggestions. Instead of going to 4-game pick, let's pick 3 of the games that we feel comfortable with.
Right.
Let's not
4's a lot, man.
The difference between 3 and 4, we've talked about this before. The difference between a 3 parlay ticket and a 4 parlay ticket is very difficult in terms of the chances of winning. So I think we should do that. Or we pick 3 teams and we bet the same amount straight bets, 3 straight bets.
Money line?
Yeah, so we go with the money line. So it actually, it kind of like protects us a little. We could, even if we win 2 out of the 3, we're still ahead of the game.
Right.
Because in a 2 out of 3 in parlay, you get 0.
Right.
So
I want clarification. What are my teams on my sheet there, buddy? I missed on New Orleans only. Let's get this straight.
Everybody missed on New Orleans.
Buddy.
You got Kansas City and Houston. It's wait a minute. Let me see.
Whatever. Let's talk about this week.
Okay.
Let's talk about this week.
Okay.
This week. So this week, let me tell you something. This week there's big spreads.
Yes.
There's huge spreads.
I know.
You got, let's read them for everybody here. You got Vikings getting 7. The Titans getting 9.5. The Texans, I don't even understand this one. The Texans getting 9.5. Now, it is in Kansas City. And Seattle getting 4.5. So, these are some really big point spreads.
Yes.
I think it's going to be, to me, that's telling you something, and be careful how you bet. So, how do you feel? How do you feel starting from the top?
Well, let's start with Minnesota and San Francisco. San Francisco favored by 7. The over and under is 44.5. Thielen is going to play. I love this San Francisco defense. I think they're going to pressure the hell out of Kirk Cousins. My problem with this is the spread. I think it's a little too much at -7. I don't think Minnesota has a chance at winning this game, but I think they'll keep it close. I don't think there's going to be a lot of points either way because Minnesota's got a pretty good defense. I kind of like the dog. I kind of like Minnesota here, the dog, and take the points. I think they'll lose, but not by 7.
So I kind of agree with you a little bit on this, but on the point spread. So I think the 7 points is a lot of points. That's a tough spread in this one. However, I think that if I had to pick this game with this spread, I think the 49ers will cover it. Okay. But I don't like the 7 because I think they
could win by 8.
They could win by 7, and you got to push, and you blow the bet. So I'm not crazy about this bet. I think San Francisco. I think Kyle Shanahan's good. I think Kittle's phenomenal. I think Garoppolo's a great quarterback. So, and their defense is as good as it gets. So, for me, I like San Francisco, but I'm hoping that's not the one I got to pick. Let's go to the next one.
I got to tell you something. Bill knows what I love in this game is the under. I love the under. I don't think there's going to be a lot of points here. I think the limitations to Thielen will also hurt him because then they can double up Diggs. I don't think, and the Minnesota Vikings, I think, will also kind of limit what San Fran does. That's really what I like in this one is 44, the under 44.5.
That's probably the safest,
I don't know about safest. It's gambling, but yeah.
No, but I mean, of the bets in that game, the safest bet is probably the under. Because like we talked about earlier, 21 points, you probably win this game.
Yeah, the only problem is, I could see the score 24-20, right? I could. Well, that would be
that would be under.
You would just squeak it in, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I can also see 27-20, so easily 27-20.
If there's turnovers, then obviously that's where it starts to get ugly because obviously usually the turnovers turn into points. I
also think that Minnesota, as well as they played last week, it was literally the last drive that made that game for them. If Thielen doesn't catch that ball, and that was a tremendous catch, they don't win.
Right.
They don't win the game. So Cousins had to make a spectacular throw. Thielen had to make the adjustment and make the catch. I see it, but if that play doesn't happen, we'd be having a different conversation right now. So I don't think Minnesota's really the team that everybody thinks they are. I felt good for Kirk Cousins that he had a nice. Hey, he got the finally got the playoff victory, but I think the 49ers are going to handle them.
The key to Minnesota's success is Cook. If Cook rocks it out, Minnesota's firing on all. They're a different team.
You're not running all over San Fran.
You're not
running all over San Fran.
But they could get him in the passing game. I'm saying if Cook has 120, 140 yards running and passing and receiving, Minnesota has a shot. But Cook has to have that type of game.
Maybe it's a little bit of a homer thing, but we got Nicky Bosa, Nicky Bosa there with 3 or 4 other phenomenal, front four, back four, front four and middle. They have some really, really good defenders there. I don't think Cook's going to have a great day. He'll have a good day. It's not going to be a great day.
No, not against that defense.
It's the other thing. San Francisco. Most of these guys, this is their first playoff appearance. We know experience in the playoff is big.
That's true.
Tennessee is at Baltimore, and the Ravens are favored by 9.5. The over and under is 47. This line's a little bit out of control too. I don't give Tennessee a shot in hell in winning this. I think Ryan will turn into the Ryan that I know really, really well. But we'll see if they can do it. But if anything, I got to take the Titans here. 9.5 is just way too much. I think they'll do enough with Derrick Henry to kind of keep it close. and I think Tennessee's defense is pretty good too. So I would, if I have to go in this game, which I don't like it because of the spread, I'll take the points, 9.5.
So I'm on the other side of that. I like Baltimore. I think they're going to run away with it. I think that they run it up, and I've seen that. I was sitting. Now, I know it was the first game of the season. Nobody knew who was, it was the Dolphins and all, and they could have scored 100.
Yeah.
They chose to score 53 or whatever they scored, but they could have scored as much as you want. So I think they're a team that's, when they're scoring, they don't stop. They don't back off. So I like the Ravens. I think they're going to cover. I think, as Tannehill played average to below average last week, in my opinion.
He made the 2 throws he had to make.
Yeah, he had 2
the
or 3
touchdown
plays.
and the one to the tight end on third down. 2 excellent throws.
Give him average. And
it was all Henry in the defense.
Derrick Henry in the defense. Now I don't think the defense is going to be able to contain No way, the Ravens.
Nobody can.
So I think that Baltimore's going to run away with it. I don't think it's going to be a 53 to something point game, but I tell you the truth, I think it's going to be. I think they're going to cover the 9.5. I like the over on this. I think the over on this could be a decent bet because I think Baltimore's going to score in the mid-30s. I really do. So that's my choice there.
You like this game at all, Bill?
I'm with you, man. If you got to bet it, I would probably take Tennessee just because I think that Henry can play keep away and not let Baltimore run up the score.
Yeah.
Okay? And
limit possessions.
I got to be honest with you. The Tennessee's defense, especially on that goal line stance, them linebackers, man, they got some decent linebackers on that team.
Vrabel, the head coach,
defensive line guys.
Knows what he's doing.
Tennessee is they got something going on there. Obviously, Tannehill is hamstrings them there a little bit, but Tennessee's moving in the right direction.
All right, Houston is at Kansas City. Kansas City is favored by 9.5. The over and under is 51. This is my favorite game of the weekend. I love the Texans plus 9.5. Deshaun Watson is as money as it gets. You're not beating him by 10 points. I'm sorry. He might beat you, actually. So I'm going Texans here. This is the game I love out of this matchup.
Yeah, I like Houston, too. I mean, 9.5 points is a lot of points to give to
love
Houston.
This
if Houston
matchup.
Shows up, they could win. They literally could win.
This is the only game that I love out of all 4 picks. This is the only game that I love.
Yeah, I think that's one that hits our pregame parlay.
Oh,
it could be your pick.
If you guys don't want to pick it, that's my pick.
Yeah, that's a good pick. That to me seems to be.
Deshaun Watson is a dude that you just don't count guys like that out, man.
Now, the bigger the moment, the more that he's undermatched.
Every level he does it.
He shows up.
That play he did last
every
week.
Time. Yeah.
It's one of the best plays you've seen in 20 years, man.
So this is the beauty of sports betting. So when we started this conversation, we were going to try a 3-game parlay. Let's throw away one of the 4 games, pick the 3 best. We could still play the parlay because that's our main bet. But we could bet this straight up too, because all 3 of us feel the same way. Houston, get the 9.5.
I love it.
I mean, it's not a bad bet. It's not a bad second bet. So let's think about that before we make all bets. But next one.
All right, Seattle's at Green Bay. Packers are favored by 4.5. The over and under is 47. In this one, I got to tell you something. I like Seattle in this one. I think that they can do enough to make it interesting. Maybe even lose, but not by the 4.5 if they lose. I wouldn't even be surprised if the Seahawks win in Green Bay. The Packers are a team that, I know that they have their moments that their defense shows up, but Russell Wilson's a playmaker. I just think they can do enough to make it interesting.
I agree with you there. I'm not a big fan of the Packers. I'm not a big fan of the Seattle Seahawks either, but Russell Wilson I am a fan of, and I think if he has a day, they're going to win. They're going to win this game. The way I look at it is their play calling is their OC is just average. I think Pete Carroll makes some mistakes during the game. I don't know. He's okay. He's a good coach, but he's not a great coach. And I think Russell makes the difference. He really does make the difference when he is on that field. And if he's on, man, he could really make some points. Score some points. So if I had to pick, I'm all about Seattle on this one. But
what Seattle has to do, believe it or not, is really control the running game of Green Bay.
Yeah. That running back scored a ton of touchdowns this year.
No, that running game is dangerous. If you limit that running game, then they will beat the Packers. If they allow Jones to run the ball and go crazy, they will lose that game. But I would imagine they're going to kind of control that because it's not really like Rodgers has the kind of offense that he can light you up.
Yeah.
Doesn't really have those kind of weapons. It's not that he's not that player. It's just he doesn't have the people around. It's just not the same. So the key will be limiting Jones. If you see Seattle limiting Jones, they win that game. Not just keep it inside the points. They win the game.
So let's
Green
figure our picks.
Green Bay to finish up the season was pedestrian. They were not anything. And that really
they're inconsistent.
That kind of happened ever since that San Francisco debacle when they got smoked. I mean, smoked. It was Aaron Rodgers' worst day as a player. I don't know. A week off, that's not really good for a team that's been inconsistent.
You think it'll rain over
Seattle.
there? You think it'll rain over there?
Just a little bit.
Might. At the fairgrounds. Well, Louisiana, never really rains there.
No.
but the holy mackerel! I went to the music festival there. What a great festival. Once again, it was pouring rain. It was like Woodstock. I was like 55 years old, walking around with my wife, said, "Are we nuts? This is insane." Yeah, there's some great entertainers. Pitbull was up there, and Lady Gaga. It was all kinds of great. But we were soaking wet. It was horrible.
Hey, Lady Gaga, man, that's good.
Anyhow, what about our picks here? So,
all right.
I guess, Big O, you're all about Houston.
I mean, if you guys don't want it, I'll take it. I love the Houston pick, man. Plus 9.5. Give it to me, man. It's my favorite bet of this thing. That'll be one for our parlay if you want to.
I got to tell you, so I'm between San Francisco or Baltimore. I think I want one of these two. If anybody else, Billy, you like either of these games? Because I really think that Baltimore's going to.
Can I be really honest? Can I be really honest?
No, lie to us.
NorCal, who assists us with our Dolphin president, he's like the Dolphin national president of all the Dolphin fan clubs. The money line, picking 4 because the lines are so high and so tough. Yeah, to eliminate the spread and go money line, that's the way to bet.
Don't. Yeah, but that breaks away from. We got to hit a parlay one of these days.
I know, but what I'm saying is, if you out there in Radio Land are making a bet, stay away from these spreads. Don't try to do what we're going to do.
All right.
Go with the money line.
All right. So what do you guys want? Houston plus 9.5. What else?
What do you want, Billy?
If I had to pick one, man, that was the one. That's the one I would have taken. But I guess. San Francisco, what is it, 9.5?
7.
God, 6.5 would be totally different. San Fran. I'll take San at home. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to take Baltimore. I'm going to have the kid from Boynton Beach. He's going to score about 4 or 5 touchdowns.
Okay.
I kind of tell you, the over is interesting on this one. The over is a little bit interesting.
For Tennessee and Baltimore?
Yeah.
I like that. I like
47,
the over.
it's like.
I like the over. I'm with you. I don't like, you like the over on Minnesota and San Fran, right? Is that what you said also?
Yeah.
I don't like that one as much, but I'm with you on the Tennessee.
So what do you like? Big O, let's
switch that. Let me have the over. I'll take the over. You're gonna go. Yeah.
All right. So Billy's gonna have the over on the Ravens
That's a way
Tennessee
better bet.
game. I'll take the Ravens, and you take the Texans.
Yes.
Right? So there's our parlay.
Okay.
And as a side bet, we'll make a regular money line bet on Houston.
Okay.
We're picking our one best game. I think it's a good idea to give the listeners one good game that everybody likes on this panel.
Well, not on the money. It's Houston with the points, right?
Yeah, well, Houston with the points. Yeah. Straight bet. I'm sorry.
Straight bet, right. Yeah.
Listen,
that's
now that we've picked these, I want to talk a little about, just a couple of minutes, about the New England-Tennessee game and the move that Vrabel did.
Oh, wasting about 1:40.
What a if you were to write a movie script.
That's why he worked for Belichick. He learned.
But the actual opportunity
used it against him, yeah.
It actually presented itself in the playoffs. It was near perfect in terms of the amount of time that was available. and he did exactly the same thing. It was
Belichick lost to 2 students the last 2 weeks to end the season.
He'd like to lose his mind on
he
that.
He lost to Flores and Vrabel.
Yeah, the last 2 games.
He'd like to lose his mind, man, when Vrabel did that to him.
I know,
he
but,
was so
you know what,
furious.
Because he's the only one that does that.
Right, exactly.
I'm glad you said that. I think Belichick's probably one of the best coaches ever has coached NFL. Okay, I'm a fan of his. I think all positives. However, I'm going to say something that what I felt when I'm watching that. I'm saying, wait a second. To me, it seemed like you were a little arrogant when you did it to the Jets in Week 7.
Right.
Now, I did a little research. I don't think it was arrogance. What I found was there's a long-running 20-year history of bad blood between the Jets organization and Bill Belichick.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So I guess that was
the napkin thing.
The napkin. I'm only gonna be a coach for a day, and blah blah blah, and Parcells, and the whole mess. So I thought at first it was Belichick being arrogant in Week 7, or actually being arrogant this past week and saying only I could do it, and I did it in Week 7. But really, that was like an old feud.
Or he was just working the refs to see if he can get something, even though he knows it wasn't going to work. And you know what I mean? Because that's what they do. Just like the players selling a penalty, and he knows there wasn't a penalty, but he's trying to sell it. And
I got a different angle.
Or you flop because you try to draw something.
Roughing the kicker, right?
Yeah. Cheaters are okay with cheating until they get cheated against. Then they don't like it.
Whoa. That was not cheating.
It's a rule.
I'm not cheating.
But I'm just saying, the kind of mentality this guy has as a cheater, it's I can do it, but you can't.
No,
when you do it to me, this is unacceptable.
But I think really what happened, Billy, is I thought it was arrogance. I thought it was only he could do it. But really, it's the feud. It's the Jets and Belichick feud that's been going on since the napkin.
Yeah.
And probably started before the napkin.
And it's a divisional thing and all that other stuff. And so, yeah.
Yeah, so that was an interesting – to watch that, that was very enjoyable to watch, though. As a fan, I thought it was literally spectacular.
Vrabel is the one apple that's fallen from that tree that looks like, okay, a good coach fell out of it. We'll find out now if Flores is the next one.
There could be 2 apples. There could be 2.
And maybe the guy for the Giants now. I don't know. We'll see down the line. We'll find out all this stuff. The guy from the Giants, in the press conference, he knocked it out of the freaking park.
He did, he must have done good in the interview process because they didn't even bring in Josh McDaniels, and they kind of
did you watch him in that press conference?
I did not. Not.
Oh, you go watch that press conference.
I will.
When you watch that press conference, you'll go, you could tell that behind the scenes he must have been a monster. Well, like they must have fallen in love with him right away, right? Because watching him in the press conference, and again, it doesn't mean anything. Okay, it doesn't mean you're going to be successful, but he handled it everything the right way and said all the right things. And we start to critique you right from the get-go, and there are plenty of people that have not handled things the right way.
So his eyes weren't popping out.
No,
his eyes were not popping.
Yes.
Okay, I have to. I'm going to watch it on the YouTube. I definitely will watch it. But there are some media folks really jumping down the Giants organization. I've seen some media folks saying, "Is Joe Judge the best you could do?" That was a handful of media guys. Now,
but that's an easy hot take.
It seems like
it's a special teams coach.
Yeah, I guess
but Cowher was.
And so's John Harbaugh.
Yeah, Harbaugh's a special teams guy, too.
Yeah. John Harbaugh is a special. By the way, Bill Cowher is a special teams coach.
Yeah, Cowher.
Don Shula is a special teams coach.
See, I think the media is
a secondary and a special teams coach.
What was one thing the little caveat that he worked under Saban. Like, he's got Belichick and Saban in him, and it's like, that doesn't mean that it translates.
No, but it does mean that you were around people that know what the hell they're doing.
Yes.
So maybe it rubbed off on you.
You at least know how to run a practice, set your team up for game day.
Listen, I saw the press conference. You got to give people credit when they deserve it. The dude handled everything the right way. He may be a terrible coach when it's all said and done.
Well, we'll see.
Might be the best BSer out there.
He's got presentation down.
He has. Yes. No, but Bill, that's important, dude.
Oh, yeah.
It's important to have presence. He had presence.
Well, look, as a fan.
Yesterday.
As a fan.
That's all I say.
I'll give you my little personal take.
I don't care about the Giants.
My personal take on it is
presence.
I grew up a Giant fan. So now we have Joe Judge, and I'm going to believe in him. And I'm a converted Dolphins fan, and we got Flores. So I'm feeling pretty good about it. As a fan, I feel pretty good about those two organizational changes. So that's a real positive. It's just the media right now.
Well, dude, you have to be happy as a Giants fan because anything is better than Pat Shermer.
Yeah, that was pretty easy. Yeah,
it was easy.
I think anybody in this he could have done better on this table than Pat Shermer.
It was easy
Pat
to
Shermer,
approve.
You put your finger here and you would have never gotten a pulse.
Yeah,
come on, dude. That guy was a dead fish.
Yeah.
There was no way he was ever going to be a motivator of men in a locker room. There's no freaking way when you watch that guy. Presence.
Yeah.
None.
Zero.
None. This guy yesterday, he had it, bro. He had it.
Well, we'll see.
I give him that at least.
I'm feeling good about it then. I'm feeling real positive
They
about
said
it.
he did, the interview, the greatest, most unbelievable interview they'd ever had.
Well,
it's
ever.
hard to believe that they didn't bring in Josh McDaniels. That's hard to believe.
I'm not a McDaniels guy, you know.
I know, but at least interviewed a guy.
The way he flaked out in Denver and then backed out in the Indy
Tim
job.
Tebow. He was a Tim Tebow pick. He was a Tim Tebow pick.
Right, and then he flamed out on the Colts when they wanted him. I just there's
he's wishy-washy.
There's something smarmy about him.
So what do you think about?
I know that's not a word that youngins use nowadays. Smarmy, but us old farts, we still use smarmy, and that's what Josh McDaniels rubs me as.
So I understand what you're saying. I've never used smarmy, but I understand what you're saying. And I'm an old folk, but it's smarmy is probably a good description. But I'm going to change directions. What do you think about Matt Rule? Now Tepper. So Tepper's. Let me give you some background. Tepper is the new owner. The last year and a half, 2 years of the Carolina Panthers. Tepper was at one point he lived in New Jersey. Tepper was the largest state income taxpayer to the state of New Jersey. That's how much money this guy's got. When he decided to move, the New Jersey State Treasury had to have a meeting to figure out how they're going to make up that income that they got from Tepper's income tax. That's how much money this guy's got. That's a fact. Now, Tepper said, I don't know Tepper. I respect the guy. He's very successful. But Tepper said, I'm going to pick, when he got rid of Rivera, he said, I'm going to pick the greatest coach in the world and blah, blah, blah. And he picked Matt Rule. Now, I don't know. Matt Rule has two great – I thought no one would ever turn around Temple. Rule turned him around, He's done the same thing at Purdue, which is a much tougher turnaround. At Baylor, which is a much tougher turnaround because the competition is a little stiffer. So he could do it at Carolina. But $10 million a year? It's a $60 million contract.
Thank John Gruden, bro.
Yeah,
he created the market.
He's got experience. He's got a Super Bowl. He's played, he's a different world.
That's where Tepper and everybody else is going, you effing Raiders. You idiots.
Well,
you blew up the damn market with that contract.
Well, I always thought the coaches should get paid more. It seems like they went from making $1 million a year to $10 million a year. There was no in between. And now, to make it even weirder, Rule was making $4 million at Baylor. So it's not like he was,
that ain't chump change.
He didn't walk into Carolina with a cup in his hand, right?
No, college pays better than the NFL in a lot of cases.
But his deal is $60 million over 7 years with an extra $10 million of incentives. So he could make $70 million, $10 million a year. And I'm rooting for him in the sense that he is a Jersey guy, so I'm rooting for him. But that's a lot of money. It changes the complexion of what coaches are now paid. It seems like so. Now, what does the assistant coach get?
And by the way, you're forgetting one thing to mention.
What's that?
Guaranteed.
Oh yeah, it's all guaranteed. Yeah, exactly. I'm glad you added that because it's all guaranteed. This guy's never coached. He's head coach.
That's why.
In the NFL once, one game. Not
that's
1
why.
minute.
That's the part that does he make that transition? How does he handle men and young men? That's because it's different when you're handling a guy that needs that check for his 4 girlfriends, 4 houses, and 8 cars.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Those kind of men are different than the kid that's thinking about the kegger he's going to in the weekend.
I heard
some frat party or something. That's what is on his mind, or the next next CD he's downloading or something. You know what I mean? That's what's on his mind.
Yeah.
Anytime, new person, and you start comparing. When you mentioned being Chuck Noll, and this is going to be 30 years and all that, I don't know where that guy's head's at, but straight up, that was incorrect. Like this guy's going to be the next Chuck Noll. That's a lot to put on his plate. That's a lot.
I think the pressure was first applied when you say I'm going to pay him $70 million. So anything after that, it's just piling on.
It's new owner trying to make his own splash, his own buzz, and
supposedly
all that.
Originates from Pittsburgh, and he was a Pittsburgh fan and this and that.
Well, he was he was a part owner of the Steelers.
And it just, man, Chuck Noll. You're talking about some
we'll see.
Air.
I mean, it's going to be interesting to see because look, I think
because he had minority, right? Didn't he have minority in the Steelers, Tepper? Wasn't it something like that?
I don't know that. I thought he was just associated with a team some way.
Okay.
Associated with a team and probably knew that,
I thought he had like a minority stake that he sold.
Might, maybe the Rooney sold off a couple small to some big he was a big Wall Street guy, Tepper. So, hedge fund guy and made ridiculous amounts of money. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I think the first year, I don't think it's going to be good. It's because they're all disheveled there in Carolina. I mean, they got a good running back. But their quarterback situation is unanswered.
Well, he didn't commit to him.
The defense is getting a little older and not what it was the previous years.
He didn't commit to Cam at all. When he was talking about it, he was talking about it like evaluating everybody, which tells me he's not going to commit to Cam.
What I got out of that was Cam's not going to be the guy. He may be the guy for a year because we don't have anybody yet, but he's not the guy.
No.
That's going to be associated with
right
that
away.
team.
He would have said it right away. That if he was in love with him, and he was the guy, he would have said it. Oh, one of the reasons why I took the job was Cam Newton. Didn't say that.
So back to Joe Judge. The one thing, as a fan, it's a little bit selfish here. At least the Giant organization did not get Jason Garrett. Thank the Lord. That would have made me be as sad as it could be in terms of that would have been from below average to average.
It reminds you of the Jets taking Gase. After the Dolphins fire him, you take the same guy that failed in your division. Didn't you watch it? Why would you do that? That would make no sense.
I've been saying
and you should be laughed at and criticized if you did it, just like I laughed and criticized the Jets when they did it. You know what I mean? And I know people were trying to spin it and all that. I'm like, no, dude, I watched it. The guy's not good. I get it. The Dolphins are a disaster. They've been a disaster for a long time, but that guy is not the guy.
Yeah, he's not the answer. I've said that at least for the last 6 weeks. And the other thing too about, Gase is an interesting situation. He's not only is he really have any performance numbers on the field, in terms of coaching ability, but his connection to the fan and to the media is actually worse than his performance on the field.
Yes.
This is a business.
He alienates
there's more to
everybody.
It than you got to win, but you got to also interact with the media. You got to interact with the fans.
He's a divisive person.
He's a very odd bird. He's an odd bird.
He's a divisive person.
Yeah. Yes, he's divisive. That'd be a good way of putting it. Divisive. I think odd.
The second he got to the Dolphins, he was benching people and keeping them at home and all that. He was already at odds with people, and he was at odds with players throughout his tenure here. He got there, and right away he was at odds with people. Didn't want Le'Veon Bell. Undermined his GM right away.
Fired the GM, right? The GM got fired
so he could get his guy in there, Joe Douglas.
Which is probably a guy that's just going to say yes to him all the time.
Right.
So that's
he got you the job.
Not good for the organization.
No, of course not.
The guy that was on the IR, and Gase was questioning him, and it's like, I'm going to my own doctor, man.
Osmelli.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what, Jason Garrett, when I heard 3-4 weeks ago the first inkling that, the Giants might, it's like he's been in the backyard. He's in the same division. We've watched this guy for 10 years. Why in the hell would the Giants want that guy? Are you kidding
thank God
me?
they found Judge.
Serious.
Thank God. Now, there is something else about the New York hiring of Joe Judge. It's really cool media, especially print media, because now there's 2 judges in New York. We got Joe Judge and Aaron Judge.
Oh,
right?
okay.
So we got, so it's the two. I think the media is going to have some fun with that.
The Post is going to have fun with that.
Well, they're the media.
I know, but specifically
they're
the Post.
the media that I read on the airplane when I go to the airport and buy that Post.
Those are the headlines, bro.
Well, I want to tell you this. people don't get the newspaper anymore. It's all online and all.
Right.
But I was a guy that got the newspaper twice
day.
a day, every day.
My parents still get the Herald every day.
But I'll tell you what I do, and I recommend it to your listeners and to yourself. When you're getting on an airplane, go get yourself, a New York Post or a Daily News or something.
I always do.
Right? And it's a treat on the airport on the airplane when you're flying. It's just like, and people look at you like, you get the newspaper? I said, nah, it's just a little treat I give myself every time I'm on an airplane.
Right,
the New York Post, the headlines are usually great, and there's been hundreds of great headlines. So just want that little tidbit for your listeners.
Love it. All right, Steve, we'll see you on Sunday. We'll rock and roll. Hopefully we'll pick some winners, and we'll have a good time out here at the National Horse Players Championship.
All right, guys, and next week I'll see you also. We'll see if we won this one.
Yes.
We're going to do that side bet.
Now we're back in the poker room next week.
Next week we're in the poker room, yeah. And then eventually after that, I think a week or two after that, we're going to put you down on the casino floor. Right in the middle of the slot
wait a minute.
machines.
Isn't that next, actually?
It's either next week or the following.
Okay, good.
I think we have to.
That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, right in the middle of all those slot machines that are the highest paying slot machines.
Bling, bling, bling.
I did a season at the Flamingo Bar for the Dolphins postgame show when I was at 640. I did the Dolphins postgame show there, and it was always good.
Keep in mind that where we're going to put you, you're going to be about 10 feet from the high limit slot area.
Nice.
It's just on the other side of the wall. And last week we paid out a $76,000 jackpot.
What?
In the same day, we had a $25,000 jackpot and a 14. So believe me, you might get an urge when you're down there. So we're trying to pile up our winnings in this sports betting and then go down there and take a shot.
Steve, you guys are the number one rated in the state of Florida payout.
Number one in
slots.
payouts. Number one in payouts.
Awesome,
you go on the
man.
state website. We got the best return to player.
It's a beautiful.
That's
right,
awesome,
guys.
brother.
We'll see you this Sunday and
See
see you
you
next
Sunday.
Friday.
You got it. Sunday, my brother.
All right, thank you.
All right, baby.
Thank you,
be
Steve.
good. The great Steve Calabro joining us here on the program. All right, we're going to take a quick break here. When we come back on the other side, we are going to have Ryan Keeling from the Valley Finatics in Virginia. He's the president of the Valley Finatics in Virginia. Back with more right here on the Big O Show. All right, we are ready to rock and roll. Final segment of the show. Yes, Ryan Keeling is going to join us now. You know what we do every Friday here on the show. We go around the world and we talk to a different Dolphin president. Yes, and this week we are talking to Ryan Keeling from the Valley Finatics in Virginia. He's kind enough to join us now on the show. The man that I hear has not shaved and will not shave that beard until the Dolphins win a Super Bowl. Is that correct, Ryan?
That is 100% correct.
All right, so how long is that beard currently?
Well, I'm looking at about 4 or 5 inches in length right now.
Okay, all right. So you really don't
I started it on the draft day.
Okay, so you started on draft. Okay, I like it. All right, so soon, by next year, you should be ready to join ZZ Top?
I'm hoping not.
Okay, all right. I'm not sure. You you might have that.
He wants to go the other way.
I get it. But in a year, I don't know if we're going to a Super Bowl next year. Maybe in 2 years, I can see us in a Super Bowl, but not next year. But that's why it's going to be interesting to see what happens. So, Ryan, how did that come about? Why did you say, all right, that's it, I'm not shaving until we have a Super Bowl? What's the deal there?
No, I don't know. Something just went off in my head one day that I just had to do something bold, and that was what I came up with.
Okay. All right. So it wasn't a challenge by any of your buddies. It wasn't like some stinking Jet fan that's a buddy of yours that put on the challenge or nothing like that. This was just all you.
No, this was all me. And for the record, I don't befriend Jet fans.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right. I like that. All right. So tell us a little bit about the Valley Finatics in Virginia, my brother. That I love the name, Valley Finatics. What's up?
Yeah, well, we're based in Winchester, Virginia. And the name comes from the fact that Winchester is pretty much in the heart of the Shenandoah Valley. We started in 2005, Angel Ortiz, David Morales, and Dean Thomas started the club back then. It's just sort of way for some local Dolphins fans to get together and watch games with allies. And Angel and David are still with us here. Dean went off to Ireland and started the Belfast Finatics in Ireland. And since then, at Buffalo Wild Wings, we sort of steered away from that, got a more friendly environment for us, and found a nice club or a nice bar and restaurant in Winchester that'll house us. And we got anywhere between 20 and 40 every week, pretty much.
Okay, wow, 20 and 40. All right, now how many people are part of the Finatics fan club? The what is it again? The Valley Finatics fan club.
I'd say we've got between 15 and 30 strong active members.
Okay, all right.
And then another like 10 or 15 sort of like rotating that come hang out with us on a weekly basis.
How did it start? When did you guys start it?
Back in 2005.
Okay, 2005. Now, do you guys travel?
We do try and travel a little bit. We've got a couple of guys. One of our guys actually has season tickets for the Dolphins, and he makes it to most of the home games. Has someone tag along with him on those usually. And then anytime Dolphins come to the area, we like to work with some of the other area clubs, like the guys in Nova, guys up in Lancaster in Pennsylvania, in York, Pennsylvania, to go do like the Pittsburgh games and the Baltimore games, the Washington games. And we do have people that make it up to the MetLife Takeover every year as well.
Wow, that's cool. Are you going to go out to Vegas and join us for the draft?
We've got people that are definitely going out from our club, and I myself am trying to make it financially work.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to tell me the beard's getting in the way.
No, the beard cannot get in the way. The beard is life.
Hey, by the way, is this your first time growing a beard?
No, I've off and on had a beard, but this is definitely the longest I've ever let it get.
Okay, all right. Now, are you married?
I am.
So, dude, how's the wife handling all of this?
As long as I keep the mustache trimmed out of my mouth, she's good.
Oh, for the kissing. I got you now. Okay. So
yeah.
So negatives of having a big ass beard. How's the deal with food and smells and things like that? Walk us through having a thicker beard. What's the challenge?
The biggest challenge is making it not look wild. Yeah, it likes to go every which way it wants to. So I have to use extra soap and shampoo and conditioners and stuff to keep it in check. And that adds shower time. And I don't, it adds too much shower time for it.
So, dude,
that's the biggest obstacle.
So are you putting like conditioner on this thing too?
Yeah. Gotta keep it nice and silky smooth.
Does it really work? Because I know
it does.
Really?
It does.
Okay. All right. That's
and it gets better the more consecutive days you put the conditioner in it.
That is awesome, dude. That is fantastic. Ryan Keeling joining us, the president of the Valley Finatics in Virginia. All right, so Ryan, how did you become a Doll fan, my brother? What year was it? What moment? What game do you remember?
I was born this way,
So wait, what? The old man just put Dolphin stuff on you, and before you knew it, that's it? You just grew up that way? Is that what it was?
Yeah, pretty much. My dad grew up in Hollywood.
Okay.
And he pretty much just raised me this way.
Okay. Now wait a minute. In Virginia,
I'd say,
like you've been in Virginia. Okay, so walk us through that. Yeah. Where were you? Where did you grow up?
I've been in Virginia now since '96. I actually live in West Virginia now. But I've been in this Virginia, D.C. area since about '96.
Okay.
And then prior to that, I was in down southern Mississippi, down in Favre country.
Okay. Oh, okay.
But yeah, my dad grew up in Florida there, and we spent some good time there as a kid. And then we went overseas for his work, and that was when I really started to get involved, just because it was Monday after I was getting out of school when I was able to get the results from the games. And my dad had the ability to listen on the radio at his work. during the day on Mondays. So I was able to. He was always excited to come home and tell me how the games went. And that's pretty much when I really started getting involved. So that was around like 94-ish.
Wow.
When I really started getting into it.
Okay, so towards the end of Marino's run.
Yeah, now we watched the games a lot as a kid, but that was when I really started getting involved as far as getting into the statistics behind everything and really starting to understand the game of football.
All right, so then what made you create the fan club?
Well, yeah, like I said, a couple of guys, Angel, David, and Dean, just wanted to have a friendly place for Dolphins fans to watch the game together and have a friendly group of Dolphins fans.
Okay.
So they knew each other. They started getting out, and I met Angel through a mixed martial arts connection. And then we just sort of started spreading the word. Every time we saw a Dolphins fan, somebody wearing a hat, somebody with a bumper sticker or anything, we got like business cards made up. We'd go slap business cards on windshield wipers, strike up conversations at the aisle, at the grocery store, whatever we could to start getting people to come out and hang out with us.
So you're what, like in Redskins country? Is that what it is? Ravens? What's the normal?
Man, it's a real interesting blend. So if you turn the radio on and turn the TV on, it's Redskins country.
Okay.
But if you look around, it's a lot of Steelers fans and a decent amount of Ravens fans as well.
Okay. Well, I get it now. I mean, why the hell would you like Redskins if you're in that area? The Ravens are 1,000 times better a franchise than the Redskins. The Redskins are a freaking disaster. I mean, hell, people are dumping the Redskins. The stuff that's going on with Washington is things that I would have never imagined as a kid, that people are going to stay away from Redskins games, and those games aren't sold out. I mean, that's crazy, dude, what's gone on with the Skins.
I'll tell you, living in this Skins territory, it makes it hurt less what goes on with the Dolphins in the negative, because all I have to do is look at what the Redskins are doing and know that, hey, we're not that bad.
No, you're right. You're right about that. So are you feeling Flores? What'd you think after year one?
I don't know. I'm still skeptical.
Okay.
I definitely like what I've seen so far. But it's that whole Belichick coaching tree. I don't have the confidence that he's going to break that mold just yet.
Wait a minute. Vrabel's been pretty good, dude. He's done a good job with
But
Tennessee.
Vrabel was a player. Vrabel wasn't a coach.
No. Yes, he was. No. Vrabel moved on to a coach. He was a coach for, can you look it up, Bill? I want to say he was a coach for 3 or 4 years at least with the Patriots, my man. Yes, Mike Vrabel was a coach.
Was he?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. All right.
We'll look it up for you.
I stand corrected.
Yeah, no, man. Yeah, he definitely coached for
but still,
a few
that's
years.
one.
Well,
that's one.
It's got to start somewhere. It's got to start somewhere. You know what I'm saying? At least.
Well, yeah, and maybe we've started. He's still only in year 2, year 3 with Tennessee.
Yeah.
So the verdict is still definitely out with him, even though he's looking promising as well.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute, dude. No, you're right. He didn't. He coached with Houston. It wasn't with New England. He's been an Ohio State coach in 11. A defensive line coach from 12 and 13 at Ohio State, then a Houston's linebacker coach from 14 to 16, then a defensive coordinator for the Texans in 17, and then he's been the Titans head coach. He was a player, not coach. You are correct, sir. I stand corrected.
Look at that. You were making me a liar.
Yeah, how about that, huh? Look at that. How dare I? It's crazy. Also, you're right. Maybe Flores is the first good apple that falls from that tree. You know,
and that's a maybe still. We're still not sure on that, and I'm still gonna be very cautious with watching this.
All right. So, what was your assessment of him this year?
I mean, there were some obvious mistakes early on. I did not like the fact that he fired the offensive line coach before we even made it out of the preseason process to hire somebody else. That sort of was a red flag that he made that wrong of a hiring decision right out the bat.
Well,
but it was good that he identified it quickly enough and did away with it.
That's where I would lean to more than anything else, because remember, he's a rookie head coach. He's never done this. He doesn't have deep connections. He's only been in one franchise forever. So he's not going to have an incredible pool like most young coaches. They don't have incredible pools to go out and get assistant coaches. So it's very normal to make mistakes, especially in your first staff. What I love is he didn't stick with the mistake. He cut it right away, just like Chad O'Shea. If he doesn't think it's right, he cut him right away too. And I'd rather you eliminate the problem than actually keep it around and try and assess it or fix it.
But was the fix for it actually a fix? Because the offensive line play still wasn't that good this year.
No, I know. I get it, but that's probably because he's a young guy as a coach, and he doesn't have a lot of connections. So now he's got to try to find that guy that's better. And I think by winning 5 games with no talent, I think he might be able to recruit somebody that's better, because now people might buy that he's going to be around for a while. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I definitely started to buy in a little bit more with him as I saw this team of nobodies playing really hard and getting those wins at the end of the season. But all I ever think about anymore is that first season with Tony Sperano, and that first season with Adam Gase, that first season with Nick Saban, and nothing happened thereafter. So was this a growth? Was this showing growth to move forward, or was this the top of the mountain like with those guys?
Yeah, no, you're right. I think, listen, time's going to answer it all. I'm with you to a certain extent. I need to see one more season, but I loved what I saw from him this year. Overall, to go 5-4 in your last 9 games, to get as much as he did out of the guys, and especially that roster that they were basically streaming players from everybody else's practice squads from week in and week out. I was impressed overall with the body of work and the way he adjusted to probably the worst situation he'll ever be in as a head coach.
No, I agree with that. And and like I said, I was impressed by the end of the season. I'm just still going to sit here being a little skeptical just because I don't trust all these guys coming out of New England. None of them seem to have done anything. But I think what's more important going forward is what Chris Grier is going to be able to do with this offseason.
Yeah. No, you're right about that. Well, that's everything, my brother. Chris Grier, what's it called? Marvin Allen, Reggie McKenzie, that trifecta. It's up to them now to start hitting home runs with all those draft picks. Hey, Ryan, before we let you go, tell folks how they can check out Valley Finatics and how they can actually join you guys if they want to.
All right. Well, you can check us out on our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Valley Finatics, and that's Finatics spelled with an F-I-N. And we meet every Sunday during the football season at Backseat Bar and Grill in Winchester, Virginia.
There you go. And any Twitter handles out there for the Finatics?
No, I don't do Twitter, Instagram, or any of that stuff. It's all Facebook for me.
All right, it's a beautiful thing. Ryan, thank you for taking some time, my brother. Really appreciate it. Hope to see you and that beard out in Vegas, my man.
I hope to as well.
You got it, baby. You be good, Ryan. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Take it easy, yo.
You got it, baby. There you go. Ryan Keeling, man. Looks like a cool dude. I'd like to meet him out there in Vegas. Have a little fun. I'm looking forward to meeting all of you guys out there in Vegas. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. We're going to have an absolute blast, I got to tell you. And some of the stuff that's developed in the last 48 hours for us also is really exciting for us. So it's just this is a really good time, and it's really fun to watch all of this grow slowly but surely. We thank all of you, of course, for tuning in and always supporting us and downloading all the shows. We appreciate it immensely. Ooh, wait a minute. You know what? I have not given my picks before I go anywhere. Let's go with the picks. We had a terrible night last night in the NBA. I think, what was it? I want to say we might have gone like 1-3 or something like that. I got to look it up now, but it was bad. It was really bad. yesterday in the NBA for us. Let's go with our picks today. We need to bounce back in a big-time way. Washington and Atlanta. Let's go quickly here. It is picking right now. We got an even game. It is 238.5, the over and under for that one between Atlanta and Washington. Wizards, they can score some points, man. Atlanta is one of those teams that you have no idea what you're getting, but usually it's pretty bad. I'm going to go with Washington outscoring Atlanta today. Two terrible teams, but one is better than the other offensively. We'll go with Washington. The Miami Heat are favored by 3.5 in Brooklyn. I rode the wave the other day. I took the Heat +1. I'm taking the Heat -3.5 today against Brooklyn. I think they will handle the Nets and win by 7, maybe 10 points comfortably in this one. San Antonio is at Memphis. The game is even. It's picking. The over and under is 231. Guess what, folks? I'm going to go under 231 in this game between San Antonio and Memphis. New Orleans favored by 4.5 against the Knicks. In New York, the over and under is 227.5. I am staying away from this game. I don't get the consistency I need from New Orleans in order to give 4.5 points on the road, but they easily could beat the schizophrenic Knicks, which the Knicks normally suck, but there are times as of late, since they fired their coach, that they actually start putting the ball in the basket, so I can't trust them. Indiana lost to Miami 2 nights ago. They are favored by 3. The over and under is 213.5 against the Chicago Bulls. Bulls, again, they're a team that is not good, but they have their moments where they kind of play decent basketball. And Indiana has been really good this year. Losing the other night, I think they want to bounce back. I'm going to take a chance here. Slight lean, but I do like this bet. Not as much as I, let's say, like Washington against Atlanta or even Miami 3.5 against Brooklyn. But I do like Indiana laying the 3 at Chicago. I think they will pull it off today and barely win by that number, 4-5, but they'll win. Lakers at Dallas. Dallas favored by 2. Over and under is 223.5. I'm going to stay away from this game. The other day, Dallas did not show up in this game. I don't know why. Can't put my finger on it. I'm going to stay away from this one. And I know Anthony Davis is banged up in this one, but Dallas favored by 2. The over and under 223.5. That's one that you could have a little fun with, but again, it's too borderline for me. This game can go either way. Staying away from it. Utah favored by 12 against Charlotte at home. Charlotte is a terrible team. Utah is pretty good, but they have a tendency of sometimes not showing up against some of these teams. I'm going to stay away from the 12, but I'm going to go over 210.5 in this one, Charlotte and Utah. Orlando at Phoenix. Phoenix favored by 3. Over and under is 217.5. Can't touch this game. Not doing anything with it. Orlando, actually, if I had to do anything, I would probably take the 3 points, but I'm just going to stay away from this one. Milwaukee, -8.5 at Sacramento. Over and under is 224.5. Sacramento is one of those teams, again, kind of schizophrenic. They're home. They have their moments where they actually play pretty well. I'm going to stay away from this one. Golden State is at the Clippers. Clippers are favored by 15 points against Golden State. It's just a lot of points. I think the Clippers can get bored at the back end of this game. Very, very dangerous. Going with Washington over Atlanta, picking straight up. Going with Miami, -3.5 at Brooklyn. Going with the under 231 between San Antonio and Memphis. Going with Indiana, -3 at Chicago. And going with the over 210.5, Charlotte at Utah. I'm expecting Utah to score about 120 points in that game.
I loved your comment on the Knicks. Every once in a while, the ball finds the hoop and they make a basket. That's so awesome.
Once in a while.
Once in a great while.
Once in a while. But more often than not, they'll screw you over. So
they're the Knicks.
It's a good point.
You know, do I need to say anything else?
No.
Thank you.
They are the Knicks. You're right about that. All right, we are done. We thank, of course, Bill, John Cassio, NorCal, of course, as always.
Yes. NorCal is the man.
Gotta always thank NorCal. We thank all of you that tuned in and supported us and downloaded the program. We love you for downloading the show.
You guys are awesome. Thank you for your support.
You are absolutely amazing.
Dude, in case you were unaware, you're amazing, bro.
I don't know about that, but we try to survive every day of our lives. That's all we can do, baby. We'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll give you a little bit of a podcast, and on Sunday too. But Monday, man, we are at the East-West Shrine game.
How are you going to do a podcast on Sunday? We got to be here, and you're going to do it before
you
leave the house?
Morning.
You're going to do it early?
Yeah, I can do one in the morning.
You're a hell of a guy. Do you know that?
We can do one. We'll try to squeeze
that's right.
one in.
We got games. We got 2 great games on Saturday, 2 great games on Sunday, and, of course, the championship on Monday. Man, you're a football fan. This is heaven.
That's right.
It's better. It's better than next week because next week we only have 2 pro games. This week we have 4. This is the week I like.
Yes, and next weekend will be the
start of the
conference,
end.
The conference championship.
You know what I mean?
Game.
It's the start of the end. You know,
basically.
Yeah, it's hard on us football fans.
All right, folks, you guys be good out there. Much love as always. We thank, of course, the Brunetti family, Frank Fiore, Steve Calabro, all the amazing people out here at Hialeah Park, making it nice and easy for us. Every Friday to broadcast, please join us out here Fridays, 1 to 4. Plunge your guts out. Be good.